Okay, now we can add our stairway in, and we're going to use a multiple level stairway, but we start with the conventional tool. I'm just highlighting this right now to show the shaft wall, and we'll go to level 1, and we'll start building. I'm going to grab my railing tool, or excuse me, my stair tool. I have this set. I want to change the width of it to 4 feet, and I think I want the support. I want to just make it so that when I create it, it's on the right side. So it did. I set exterior support right the way I'm drawing it. And I'm just going to move this up until I have equal risers on both sides and come back down again. It automatically places a landing for me. And we'll click off of this. And we'll go back to that other view. It's not actually a very good view. I ought to delete that. Let's go to this 3D view. Well, this is all right. So we can see the stairway in place. I'm not exactly well, let me see if we're, yeah, I guess we're all right here. Looks good. So now we want to make this a multiple level one. So I'm just going to select not the railings, but the stairway itself. And you'll notice it allows us to select levels. And I can go ahead now and just, I can't select the 2 levels it's already connected to. And I'll just hold the control key down and grab these extra 3 levels and connect them. And we have now a stairway going all the way up. Now what we don't want is this extra cutout of the shaft opening. So I can just highlight that and pull that down. And I guess it's probably pretty arbitrary where that shaft wall exists, because now I've just removed it from penetrating the roof level. So we're all set now with a multi-level stairway. Let's think about putting some walls around this. And I think one of the important things about this project is to think about these walls both for fire protection, and they're going to add shear wall capabilities to a building, especially if this is a curtain wall building. These will be internal walls. They can be made out of heavy masonry construction. So let's start at level 1 and thinking about building a wall around this. So we'll go ahead and grab something really kind of massive here. We'll get a generic 12-inch masonry wall. And I've got the wrong tool selected there. I don't want the wall's center line. I want the inside line. Finish face interior. And we'll just walk around this. And I'm going to leave the front open, so that'll actually be glazed. So let's just take a look at what we've got now. And I just haven't set the levels right, so I can just select all in view. And we'll connect those all the way up to the top level, level 6. And we're pretty good to go now with a stairway assembly. The only thing we need to do now is add some doors. So let's go ahead and do that. Unfortunately, it's going to take me a minute because I'm going to have to load in a commercial door. All I think I have in the door palette right now is a single flush wooden door. So we'll go to the south elevation, and just checking back again, I want to see where my entry to the landing is on this side. So I probably want to put the doors on that side. So let's go back to the south elevation, and let's go and insert, or is that load a family, and let's go out to doors, and I want to grab a commercial door, not a double door, a commercial single flush generic door. We want it to be fire rated, but that's kind of another issue right now. And I think we need it to be at least, let's go with a 42-inch door, and not so short. And we'll place that now. And of course, well, I guess it will let us place it. So I know I've got to come in here at least a little bit to clear that wall. And let's take a look at that on level 1 now. And obviously that's the first error I have. I have no landing system in here, so that's easy to correct. So let's just pull this out, not that way. Let's go grab the shaft wall right away. And I'm going to pull this out. Probably, let's give it a generous 6 feet in front of, so 22.6, that's probably pretty good. So we now modify the shaft wall. Let's grab our wall and drag it out until it's flush with that face. So we have our landing to go up. We'll need a railing system in here. That's not in the automatic generation of that. So, and I probably want to just reposition this a little bit. So let's make this 2 foot 8 inches, maybe more. Let's go 9, and I'm wondering which way that should, I believe that should face in like that, because that's fire egress. And this is environmental controls. I hate to get into talking about code issues, but you know, start thinking about them. So you're entering a protected corridor. You really wouldn't want to make it easy to get out of it on the wrong floor. So I think the doors are always swinging in like this. So let's go with that. And we'll go to the south elevation. And we're happy with that door. So let's just copy it up a few times. So we're going to go up 15 feet the first time, and then 12, 12, and 12. And back to our 3D view here. So now we have our, you know, we could probably render this in a mode that'll give us a little transparency to it. Let's get rid of the edges and smooth it and create a little transparency. Yeah, a little X-ray look. I don't like the lighting. All right, good enough for us just to visualize, so we can see where our mistakes are if we have mistakes. Right now I have a problem that my shaft opening and my wall, actually I got my shaft too far out. It's got to be at the front of the landing. So I was half right and half wrong. So let's go back and correct that right away. Silly me. Okay, so let's take a look at that again. All right, so we have an interior landing at the doorway, but we don't have a railing here. And something need to, I'm not going to go into the details of that. This is really not a technical how to build construction issues. Let me go and realistically render this a minute, and we can talk about, I guess one of the most important things about this is this idea of seeing this whole thing as a shear plane. What I mean by shear plane is that once you put this large massive wall system through all these 4 plates, it helps to support the structure, so these can't topple over like a house of cards. And the other thing is that the shaft wall now is lined with fire-rated or could be a fire-rated assembly to protect the occupants during egress. And that same characteristics is going to carry forward when we talk about the transportation of vertical transportation when we're involving an elevator system. Okay, one thing bothers me here is our walls are just coming up through the roof. So I'm going to select all in view again. And we're going to go and just top offset these and just leave them down. Well, let's see what our slab thickness is. Our slab is 12 inches, so if we grab all of our walls again, we want our top offset to be -12. Oops, -12 inches. There, and that's not as ugly. So I think we're all set with that. So we now created a a way to get down through the building for egress. And we'll think about ways of actually presenting this that make it a little more descriptive. Maybe pulling back a section box until we can show the whole construction of the stairwell. Need to zoom in there a little closer until we can get it just at the right position there. So, and we actually don't need the shaft well going all the way down to the bottom. So you notice I can just pick this up again, and we've got the same, we've removed that shaft wall from that. And the other thing I'm a little bit unhappy about is the way I created the shaft wall with this floor deck intersecting it. So why don't we see if we can correct that now. Let's go back up here. Let's see if we can grab the shaft wall. And what I don't like is the idea is that we would probably build the shaft wall all the way through the building first. So let's go ahead and edit this. And we're just going to pull these out until they're at the exterior, just touching the wall that we're going to create. So the floors are going to dive into what would be a pre-constructed shaft through the building. And we'll go back to that 3D view to take a look at that. And now we don't have the interference with the floor plate and the wall assembly. So that takes care of our stairwell system. Let's now take a look at, and I'm seeing some other, as I continue to talk, I'm seeing issues about the railing returns are all right, except we don't really need railings along these surfaces. We really need handrails. So all kinds of BIM issues, but for the few minutes that you work on a drawing like this, it really is surprising how much can be completed. And I'm also seeing a little bit of an error in the way the stairways are not hitting the landings properly. And I'm not sure what's going on there. It's almost like a step is missing. We've got the riser, but maybe the riser was supposed to come up to there. Let me see if I can select this. Yeah, I'm going to troubleshoot that, and I'll try to figure out what was wrong with that when I pick up the next video clip.